Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Lorene Regan, and I'm very happy to have you here today for another in our learning series for Boom members. We've covered a lot of topics over the last number of months, including expert insurance advice. We've had legal advice on how to prepare for your will and estates. We've also had mental health and wellness, and we recently even had an Irish whiskey tasting event, which was quite fun. Today, we are joined by Karen Malcolm-Pye. She is a beauty specialist and expert, and many of you may recognize her from her work on CTV and Global and the Marilyn Dennis Show and so much more. We are delighted to have you here today, Karen. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Lorene. I'm so excited to see you.
It's great to see you too. One day in person, I hope, but this will do for now. Thanks for bringing your advice to us today. We really do appreciate and value it. As we head into summer, you're going to talk to us about some of the cost-effective and at-home skincare routines that we can put in place that'll rejuvenate us after this winter and maybe even reduce some of those signs of aging. So I'm delighted to be hearing about some of those topics. Thank you. So we're going to get right into it. And our first question today that we have for you is, what are some of the common signs of skin damage and aging? What do they look like?
Well, you know what, Lorene, that's an interesting question. I think it's something that we're thinking about a lot more is what is the sun actually doing to our skin? And as we get older, and when I say older, that can be any age. That could be 20s, 30s, 70s, 80s. We're all aging. So the effects of long-term sun damage is basically sagging skin, a lot of discoloration and pigmentation on the skin, deeper fine lines. Some people even get more of that kind of leathery texture to their skin. You can see sun damage as early as your teens. If you see freckles all over your body, that for the most part is sun damage, if you can believe it. That is typically going to accelerate as you get older. So general signs of sun damage that we tend to see really starts heavily in your 20s and then just progressively gets worse as we get older.
Right. And, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things you can do to help reduce that. So what about, though, from a skincare regime? When we're looking at taking care of our skin and creating a home care regime that will help our skin not only be protected against some of that sun damage that's happening, but also perhaps to even invigorate and reduce what's happened already. What are some of the things that you can see that we can do at home? Because we often think, oh, we have to spend all that money and go to a spa and let the experts, but even if you do go to a spa on a regular basis, you still need to be doing those things in between in order to maintain. Isn't that right?
That is right. And I think the number one thing people need to realize and remember is that it's never too late to start protecting their skin. And it's actually never too late to start treating those signs of aging. And that's where you and I know we're chatting prior to this about what I think is an important aspect to share with people. So what I like to share is not only how you can treat the aging from sun damage, but also how you can protect yourself from the sun. So those two things combined, you can actually do from home. Yes, absolutely. You can go to spas and get treatments, but the most important thing that you can do is have a daily routine. And what those daily routines are, Lorene, is number one, wearing sunscreen. I know you have quite a few brands with Boom that will provide amazing discounts for members. Products like Kiehl's and Biotherm and Lancome, they have really beautiful sunscreens that you can wear daily. So that would be a great way to really start and kickstart protecting your skin from today on. Now, in terms of healing your skin, or perhaps just making it look a little bit brighter, as we were saying, a little more glowy, let's shed off the winter skin and get that spring glow back. That is also something that we can do at home. And it's something that we can do daily. And in fact, that's the one thing I do tell all my clients is consistency is key. When you are starting a new skincare regime, don't just try it for a week or 2 weeks. You actually need to commit to it. So you need to actually commit to this for, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it may be. So let's say you're going to go on to Boom and you're going to order Vichy or Biotherm and you're going to get the entire skincare regime. You want to get something that's going to be, I guess, meeting the needs for what you're looking for. Maybe it's aging, maybe it's strictly sun damage, maybe it's tightening or oily skin. But when you are ordering from any of these brands, make sure you order the products that are for your skin needs. And then again, make sure that you're using it every day for a consistent period of time so you can actually see those results that the brand can give.
And that's the key, consistency. And like with anything, you sort of need to build up that new habit of, I need to spend this extra couple of minutes every night, making sure that I do this little exfoliation or whatever it might be that suits my skin. And just getting into the habit and routine of doing that's going to make the world of difference. And then back to your point on sunscreen, same with the sunscreen. I think, many of us grew up in a time where we didn't think about it as, getting a tan was really important. So we didn't think about it as much. And getting into the habit of having sunscreen nearby so it's easy that you can reapply it. I know there's lots of different options. So there's the powder kind that you can get from a variety of great suppliers. There's also the cream or lotion kind. For me, for example, I have some in my car. I have some, by the back deck. I have some, of course, in my little bag when I get ready in the morning. So having it handy, I think, makes a big difference. Then you can really have no excuse not to be reapplying where necessary on the sunscreen. What about from a product perspective? So many of us think, well, because we want to take care of our skin and we want to look at the best, we need to invest heavily into doing this. And yes, thank you for mentioning it. Boom does have a lot of really great products available to consumers, and you get them at a discount or a reduced rate. So that's great. But overall, do products need to be really pricey or expensive in order to make a difference on our skin?
You know what, Lorraine, that's a great question, and one that I get asked a lot, especially these days. I think everybody's under a bit more of a financial crunch right now during COVID. And the answer to that is no, you do not have to spend a ton of money to get great products. And yes, wonderful that your members can get additional discounts on some amazing brands. But what you need to find when it comes to skincare, when it comes to makeup, is finding what works best for you, because that is the most important thing. When it suits you, suits your lifestyle, it feels good, it looks good, that's going to make you want to spend those extra few minutes every single day. So it's not about the price tag, it's about finding the products that make you feel good and in turn make you look good.
Thank you. So how are you going to know if all of this extra little bit of work you're doing at the top and tail of your day are making a difference?
Okay, this is one of my favorite things, and I am actually a guinea pig of this myself a few times. So when we buy new products, or perhaps we're buying even new makeup, we're wondering, is this skincare working for us? Is it doing those things that we want it to do? Am I looking 20 years younger? Am I reducing those sunspots? Is my skin looking a lot more glowy and healthy for spring? Well, what happens is we look at ourselves in the mirror every day and we forget what it used to look like. So one of my biggest tips that I do for myself, and I highly recommend for people when they're trying a new skincare or a new makeup, is to take before pictures. When you take a before picture and then perhaps you take one another 30 days later, 60 days later, 3 months later, I do definitely recommend that 1 to 3 month period. That's where you're really going to start seeing some of those changes in your skin. It takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. But what happens, Lorraine, is sometimes you take this before picture and then at 6 months you think, oh no, I don't look any different. Nothing has changed. I'm not going to bother doing this anymore. And then you take an after photo in the same light at the same time of day. And when you see the results, it's staggering, because we don't see those gradual changes as they're happening to our skin, but we do see them when we see a before and after. So take those before and after photos, really helpful, great way to really know that you're using products that are working for you.
That's great advice. I like that. Now I have to get my camera out.
Well, we all have them.
No excuse now. So just thinking about from a day-to-day morning and evening skincare regime to freshen up our skin moving forward. Again, it's not about going to the spa and getting that great facial, etc., which is always such a nice treat. This is day-to-day now. If it's morning, what are the top 3 things that I should be doing every morning?
Yeah, so morning, what you want to be looking for is if you're in the shower, you can cleanse your skin again. That's taking off any of the sweat, anything that was on your bedding throughout the night. Perhaps even your hair has been on your face, and so you might have, any of the products sitting on your skin. So cleansing your skin. Toners really are popular with some people. So some people love to include a toner in that skincare regime. Serums are wonderful. And I know a lot of your brands, like Lancome has some beautiful serums and then has some beautiful day lotions. So what you want to do with these brands is look at what skincare regime is going to work for you, but definitely include perhaps the first two I've mentioned, a cleanse and a toner, but secondary to that is a sunscreen and a really good hydration for day. So what can happen is we can see in daytime a lighter, a little bit more of a glowy look to our skin. Whereas we'll talk about it in a second, going to the PM, that's when we want to think about heavier. So those morning products, you really want them to be focused on taking care of your skin for the day, being out in those elements. And there's no right or wrong if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 products. It's finding the regime for you.
Thank you. Because it is okay to have a moisturizer and then a sunscreen, or if you have a nice combination, you can often use them both in one. Is that correct?
It is. And some people even love serums as well. I know for me, I love in the morning to use a really nice serum and a nice sunscreen, as well as a great hydration. So those 3 steps for my skin really work to give me that springy summer glow during the day this time of year.
Thank you. Now, how about nighttime? So the day is over. Is there for example, a way, makeup, often eye makeup in particular can be difficult to remove. So any tips for that? And then, what should that 3 or 4 step series look like?
Absolutely. So nighttime is a completely different skincare regime because you're taking the day off of your face. You're now taking off all the exposure you've had outside, the dirts, the dust, whatever it may be environmentally. You're taking off your makeup. So I really like to recommend actually taking your makeup off. And there's a lot of makeup pads and makeup mitts that you can actually wash your face, or a face cloth. You take the makeup off. Then from there, that's when I like to use an eye makeup remover. So that can saturate and take away any of that eye makeup you've had on that day. Eyeliner, mascaras. If you happen to be a waterproof mascara wearer, this is really helpful to take that makeup off. A lot of optometrists will actually recommend using an eye makeup remover as well, because it's really important to get that dirt and bacteria off of your eyes before you go to sleep at night. Secondary to that, you definitely want to be cleansing your skin. This is when I always say removing your makeup and cleansing your skin. That's 2 different things. So take your makeup off, then cleanse your skin. What you're doing is you're cleansing and you're basically giving your skin that life back before you add that heavier moisturizer on. Now, at nighttime, think about this. When you're sleeping, this is when your skin is rejuvenating itself. So you need to use something this is where all those active ingredients that we're buying these products for, they get to do their work at nighttime when we're wearing this as we sleep. So what's happening is our body and our skin is rejuvenating and recovering itself when we sleep. So all those amazing ingredients that are in the products we're using, that's when they're working hard to really tighten the skin and firm the skin and help get rid of that sun damage. But it's also a heavier feeling at nighttime because we're not putting makeup on it. So it's a similar routine using different products.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful. So those 2 things don't sound like they should take too much time at the end of my day or the beginning of my day to integrate in. I think part of that, again, is just as we talked about before, really building up that new habit of putting those together so that, our skin is protected, that we're feeling fresh and good, no matter what time of year it is. But as we head into summer, even more so, we want to make sure that, that we have that freshness that comes with this new season. So how about any final tips? Any final tips for our viewers today?
Yeah, you know what, Lorene? I always recommend to people to focus on the things that they would like to maybe change in their skincare regime or in their beauty program. And there's so much you can do as a member of Boom to actually do this and do this easily with really, really great discounts. So, you could first off decide on your brand. So maybe it's Kiehl's, maybe it's Biotherm, maybe it's Lancome, so many different brands to choose from. And then what you want to do is start looking into those specific lines and look for the products you think are going to meet your needs. And then what you do is you start slowly. So you start, maybe start with 3 things in the morning and 3 things at night. It does sound like a lot, but believe me, that habit becomes just an everyday ritual very, very quickly. And so the first step really is getting those products. Second step is being consistent. And I can't say this enough, consistency is key. If you really want to see the difference in your skin and get that summer glow, you need consistency. Third to that, you need to make sure you're putting your sunscreen on your face every day. Like you said, Lorene, you can bring sunscreen in your bag, you can have it in your car, whatever it may be that makes it easy for you to reapply. Definitely a very important step. I love hats as well. I think hats are a great thing to wear. Also sunglasses. I think you have a lot of great companies that work with glasses and sunglasses. What another thing people don't realize is how important it is to protect your eyes from the sun. This isn't just the skin, it's the eyeballs. So our eyes actually need to be protected. So getting a really great pair of sunglasses for being outside in the spring, summer months is actually a really great thing for you, as well as wearing sunscreen. And lastly, of course, your beauty routine. You want to make sure you're finding a beauty routine that feels good for you, and find, if it's a foundation or mascara, you've got some great brands with Urban Decay and YSL and Shuamura, and so many great brands that you can get the most beautiful lip glosses for spring. You can get illuminators to brighten you. You can get bronzers to make it look like you have a fake tan. So utilize what is at your fingertips, and maybe get some new makeup products, and that can be your last step for your beauty routine for spring and summer. And it's also a great way, Lorene, to infuse some new color and new products into your beauty routine to help us feel a little bit more fresh, a little more current, maybe a little more on trend.
Well, finally then, on that note, on trend, what are some key trends that are happening with respect to eye makeup, lip color? What are you seeing?
Well, you've started with it already. Skin is actually a huge, huge feature for trends this season. And it's that glowy skin. It's definitely a protected skin, but seeing a little bit of that sun kiss with bronzers, very naturally, very pretty. We're seeing a lot of cream products, and these cream products we're wearing on our cheeks, our eyes, our lips. So sometimes one product can actually be a 3-in-1 for your makeup. That's a really, really huge trend. We're seeing a ton of color. I always say with color, if that's something you want to try, infuse it in one way. So maybe that blue eyeshadow is not going to work for you, but perhaps a nice soft blue eyeliner might be. That might be a really pretty, gentle, easy way to kind of work that color into your makeup routine without it being too much. But we are seeing a great deal of color. And lastly, we're seeing a lot on the lips because we're wearing masks all the time. What's starting to happen is we're starting to focus on exfoliating those lips and making sure we're taking care of those lips. So when we are taking our masks off, they're not dry and dehydrated, because I think we're all feeling that behind the masks. And maskne has been a big thing too. So, for those of you that might be suffering from dryness or acne around your, mask wearing area, everything we have talked about today will benefit that as well. A good skincare regime, a good sunscreen, and a good makeup routine as well.
Great insights. Thank you for this valuable information, Karen. It's really been great having you today. And to our members who have joined us, or who are tuning in after perhaps, because we're going to re-show this down the road, I hope you found as much value in today's session from Karen Malcolm-Pye as I have. There's been some great info here. And as she's pointed out, there are a variety of brands in Boom that you can save on, from sunglasses, eyeglasses, contact lenses, to skincare that she mentioned, like Vichy, Biotherm. We have Lancome. We have so many different brands in there. So if you're going to invest in the skincare, you can save a bit of money by, of course, using your Boom membership. So thank you for that. And watch for our upcoming events, everyone. We'll have some more coming up in the series here shortly. You can follow us on Instagram or follow us on Facebook, either one of those, and you'll be updated quickly on what's coming up. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. And thank you again, Karen.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining.